So this is the ACE Pro, the brand new action camera from Insta360, and I've been using it for the last 3 months, and in this video I'm going to share with you guys everything that I love and everything that I don't like about this camera. Insta360 did send this camera for free at no cost, but they have no weight or no opinion or no saying in this review video. It's been exactly 3 months that I've been using it. I've used the camera on multiple occasions, multiple different scenarios, and I think I'm ready to give you guys my honest feedback about this action camera. So this is my second video on the ACE Pro. The last one I've posted on my YouTube channel was in-depth comparison with the Aero 12 and this one. It was a one against the other battle in a bunch of different scenarios. Overall, the ACE Pro was on top of the GoPro every single test. Image quality, as I've been using the camera more and more, I just realized that it looks just so good. It's the best quality that you can get with the format of this camera. It's super small, it's super handy. I think you definitely need a dedicated camera, and I think that's where the ACE Pro really shines. Its form factor, despite being a little bit bigger than the GoPro, was not a big deal for me. When I mounted to the bike, when I mounted to the chest strap, I did not really feel any weight difference or size difference, or it did not really matter. So again, regarding the body of the ACE Pro, something I quite like was the quick release system. It's a brand new one for Insta360. As you can see here, you can press at the bottom, so you can easily release this one. And you can also easily release this one. So you can take your camera on and off the bike, on and off the chest strap, on and off anything you think about. The only downside I would say with this quick release system is you kind of need two hands. You need one hand to hold the camera and one hand to pinch at the bottom. It was kind of difficult to ride my bike with one hand on the handlebar, and then the other I had to like sort of grab from the top and then push like this. So you can see how difficult and a bit awkward it is to take it off the bike mount while riding. Again, now I sort of got it pretty quick doing it with one hand, but it's a little bit of a hassle. I've used in the past another quick release system that you get from Amazon. I think the brand's called Ulanzi, and it's more of a twist and pull, and that worked very well. And that was very easy, but that was also not very robust. I broke a lot of these mounts, and I've lost cameras a couple times because of that quick release mounts. So you're kind of stuck with either one direction where it's super easy to take off, but it's also possible that you lose your camera while riding, or it's a little bit more difficult, but it's not that bad. So props to Insta360 for this quick release system. I love it. And what I love about the accessory here that you see on top, the vertical mount, is that you can go for an horizontal shot, flip the camera, and now you have a vertical shot. So for when the camera's on the bike, when the camera's on the chest strap, it get quite useful to get both shots. Now, in terms of the flip screen, I thought it was going to be a gimmick. I thought I was not going to use it, but I've used it a lot more than I thought. Especially when the camera was on the bike, I was able to just open it up. And so while I was riding, I was just able to see, looking down, am I filming? What was the camera seeing? So that was great. The flip screen is a good feature. In terms of vlogging, it's also good. I've used it for vlog. You can see yourself, you can make sure the exposure is right. The whole body of the camera is super robust. I've posted a video on my Instagram where it was a crash test. I'm gonna put some shots here, but I literally I threw the camera around left and right. I tried to broke it, and the screen did not break. Only the screen protector did break. So if you do use the camera for action shots, definitely use the screen protector. That was a saver. But you can see, since I've scuffed it a lot, so there's a lot of a few little scratches here and there, but overall the camera still works perfectly, no problem at all, and despite my attempt to break it. All right, let's now talk about the software of the Insta360 ACE Pro. To be honest, the usability is incredible. Everything is so easy, everything is so intuitive. It's fast as well, there's no delay. It's snappy. As you change a setting, you get it right away. Sometime with the GoPro or other action cam, it was a bit more difficult, or it was a bit laggy, the software. And I didn't really feel any sort of slowing down from the camera as I was using it. There was also no overheating from the tests I've been doing. I've not really used the 8K setting. I feel just it might be a bit more overkill, but if it provides 8K, that means the quality of the 4K will be good. And I think that's why this camera has 8K. In terms of shooting, it's also easy. There's hand gesture that I've been using quite a lot as well for starting and stopping the camera. But sometimes the hand gesture may come at the downside where you talk to the camera, you do something with your hand, and now boom, it's recording. And they not really wanted it to record. So, but if you don't want to use hand gesture, it's just one tap away to shut it down. So overall, I've used it. It was great, but sometimes it was starting the camera without me wanting to. Here, just stop it. There's one thing I could not really figure out to change when it comes to the video module is you see this little button there. This is the button to zoom in into, so it goes to the 8K camera, but then it crops, right? So you have high quality zoom. And the problem with that one is since it was sort of big on the screen, I was not often, but sometime accidentally clicking the zoom in button. So that meant if I was cycling, I really want always a wide shot. And then I accidentally touched this little button there and it was zooming in, and then the shot was sort of lost because it was too zoomed in when you don't not really want to zoom in. So I don't know if I don't know if I could take it off the screen. I've looked into the camera menu, I cannot find it. Maybe something I can ask Insta360 if that button can be taken away from the home screen, because I did accidentally touch it a few times and it did ruin a few shots. So that's one thing, but overall that zoom quality is incredible. So as mentioned, it goes to the 8K sensor and then it crops in, so you still have a 4K, very zoomed in. So as we saw in my comparison video with the GoPro shot, far away objects are incredibly sharp. And it's I've used it traveling to Spain, like when I was trying to get some of the landscape. You don't always want a very wide shot, so it was nice to also have a punch in and with super high quality, and you did not lose any details. So it's a plus and a minus at the same time. In terms of other features of the camera, I mean, I've used a little bit of the time lapse, that was good. I've used pure video as well for the low light. But in terms of photo and HDR, I did not really use it. I think for a photo, I just bust out my phone. And for time lapse as well. When I did the revamp of my garage, I just put the camera on top on the ceiling, and I had a full time lapse of the full transformation of the garage cabinets behind me. So that was cool. The battery for that time lapse literally lasts all day. And when it came to riding as well in Spain, I only brought one battery, did not do a single change. So battery lasts a long time, and that was good. Something I quite like about what Insta360 are doing is that they're really pairing the power of AI and the power of software with the camera, and their phone mobile app is so easy to use. It connects to the camera right away. It transfers the files super quickly. If you need some footage that you just shot during the day, it's the transfer to your phone, and the transfer or the posting to social media is super quick. I did not had any problem using the mobile app. It was fast, it was efficient. It really simplified my workflow, and it really allowed me to capture more and post more at the same time. All right, so now the GPS watch. Let's talk about it. So I've been using it quite a lot. I did not know that I would appreciate this device. Is it a must? No, I don't think you need it. If you have the extra buck to get it, it has two main advantages, I believe, and I guess one downside that we're gonna get into. The watch itself, that you can either have it on your wrist or on your handlebar, or the fact that you can see what you're shooting is great, especially if the camera's under your handlebar or if the camera's behind your saddle. You can see your framing on your wrist, so that was nice and that was easy to use. What I quite like is that you can change any setting from the camera with the watch, so you can control everything. You can change the resolution, you can change if you go to slow motion, time lapse, whatever. One thing that I quite like is I was able to use the watch to save memory space on the card. So usually with an action cam, you just start it and then you run somewhere else and then you do something and then you film for like 20 minutes what could have been 2 minutes of filming. So with the watch at a distance, you can really control the on and off, and I liked it. It was easy to use. It was great. Again, you see your framing, you see what you shoot, you control. Same problem with the zoom in button that we see right here that it punch in. And what's great about this watch is the internal GPS. So that's super easy, that when you bring your footage into your mobile app or you bring the footage into the computer app, it's just one click away to add speed, the map overlay, or to add elevation and all of the data that the GPS watch capture. they're just one click away to put on top of your footage. So that was quite useful. I love to have this feature. I've used it a couple of times. The only downside is you need to watch. So it also happened that I went out with the camera. I went to shoot a full day, but I forgot to watch. So when I wanted to add the data on top of it, I could not. It would have been great if the GPS from the watch would be internally integrated with the camera so that you don't need to watch for data overlay. That'll be great. But there's a solution for that, and it's using the data from your Garmin head unit. And what's great about when you use a Garmin head unit and you use the Insta360, you can really sync easily all the data from both. So you can add overlay of speed, power, heart rate. All the data comes from your Garmin unit. It syncs automatically. And unfortunately, I was not able to try it out because I do not have a Garmin computer. I'm trying to get my hands on one. That could be a dedicated video and explaining how that works. But I just love how Insta360 really makes the workflow of adding data overlay easy. So at this point, I think you guys can tell that I quite like the ACE Pro. But there's one thing that I really need to address, and it's the place of action camera in today's media world. If you move back a couple years, 100% of video content was horizontal, right? And now that TikTok, Instagram are really pushing vertical content took over the place of horizontal. So if you're doing exclusively YouTube as a media to showcase your cycling or your sports, this is cool. If you do exclusively vertical footage for Instagram and TikTok, there's a little issue with it, I believe. I believe that the vertical, even though you're at the action mode and at the widest possible wide angle from the camera, it's not wide enough. And then when you're filming horizontal, you don't get that vertical footage. And when you're filming horizontal and you're trying to crop vertical, it just don't look great. Personally, now where I'm in my journey as a content creator is I'm in both platforms, and both platforms are as important. And I just cannot film a video or something to take every time. And if I film a horizontal video, it's not gonna look good on IG. And if I film something for IG, it's not gonna look good for YouTube. So the problem is not with the ACE Pro, but the problem is with the capabilities or the sensor of this camera. So this brings me to why Insta360 did this camera. They are the king of 360-degree video footage with the X1, X2, X3, and the One RS that I also have. I absolutely love my 360-degree camera because you shoot and then you edit later. And as time goes, the quality of those 360 camera just keep getting better and better, that you are most likely better to film everything around you. And then in post-production, you can decide to go vertical, horizontal, and your vertical is going to be super, super wide, and your horizontal will be super wide or super close in. You decide it later. So for Insta360 to put energy and time and money into developing an action cam like this, cool, it's better than the GoPro, but you're already a king of 360-degree camera. And I think that the future is going that route. I don't believe in the really future of action cameras. I believe in the future of 360 action cameras. So with that being said, should you just get your hands on the X3 or any future X camera coming down the line, or the updated version of in the next couple of years of those 360 camera? I think so. If they can get the quality a little bit better, the microphone a little bit better on the 360 camera, I think it will outshine, and it will just put the ACE Pro to a place where you don't really need a frame anymore. You can just film all the way around. So to wrap up this 3 months review of the ACE Pro, I love the quality, I love the usability, I love the quick release mount, I love how easy the software is to use. I think Insta360 did an amazing job beating to the dust their competitors when it comes to the overall package of the action camera. Now the question is that you need to ask yourself if you need to buy this camera is where your media is going to live. If you're shooting only this side of the camera or only this side, it's an amazing pick. But if you're trying to shoot both at the same time while you're riding, while you're doing your sports, I might consider the X3 or the One RS from Insta360, the 360 camera. or any future update of those camera, because you're just going to have more flexibility when you're going to use the footage. At the end of the day, Insta360 has built their software and the GPS watch that will surely work with other product down the road. So I love this camera. I will still use it, but maybe not as much as my 360-degree camera. If you're interested in getting your hands on the ACE Pro, use the link in the description of this video for an 11% discount. It only applies to the first 15 orders, so act fast. All right, guys, if you like this video, you find it useful, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already. And my name is Charles, and I will see you guys on the road or into the next video. Peace.